Okay, let me show that everyone is here. So I'm just going to show your feet to show that you guys are here. Okay. All right. So hi everybody. Did you know that according to the American Transplant Foundation, on average, 20 people die every day from the lack of available organ transplants? So that means 7,300 people die a year because not enough people are organ donors. Although death is a sensitive subject to most Americans, everyone should register to become an organ donor and save lives of those in desperate need. Becoming an organ donor is easier than most people think. Being an organ donor can sound like an alarming decision, but I want to explain the easy process of becoming a donor and how the organs are chosen to transplant and why it's a good idea to donate your body. So to become an organ donor, you must be 18 years or older. Anybody can register for free regardless of what kind of health conditions you may have or eventually get. After the passing of a donor, the doctor will run labs or examine the organs to see what is healthy enough for transplant donation. The donor doesn't have to worry about any sort of testing or exams while they're still living. So don't worry, we want to make this process as easy as possible. Even if your organs are not well enough for transplant most of the time, tissue is still able to be donated. Becoming an organ donor doesn't mean that you're no longer eligible for an open casket funeral. Doctors respect donors' bodies so that your body is still viewable if that's what you want. The cost of all these examinations and the transplant is completely free to the donor and their family. Since it's a donation, the cost is covered by the Organ Procurement Organization. And once again, we want it to be completely hassle-free for the donor, and it really can't be much easier than this. According to Very Well Health, organ tissue such as skin, ligaments, and tendons, and even the cornea from the eye can be recovered and given to a recipient to treat a wide variety of issues. The risk of rejection is also always a possibility, but to help lower these risks, the matching of the recipient and donor need to be as similar as possible. So in other words, the more the difference between the two increases the risk of rejection. Our body's immune system thinks that there's an invader it doesn't recognize and tries to fight off the new transplant. Medications and matching donors and recipients as much as possible helps lower these risks. The transplant priority list is based off a severity of illnesses. Transplants are only performed if it is a life-threatening illness or disease. The donor system runs blood types, checks height, weight, medical factors, organ size, and uses geography to find a match in organ donors. Since the heart and lungs have less time to be transplanted, a radius is used from the donor hospital. When it comes to organ size, children are first in line for organs because they often respond better to that size. According to the American Transplant Foundation, a patient income, race, social status is never taken into account in the allocation process. Registering to become a donor is easy. You can either register at the DMV when renewing a license or online at your state's organ donor registry. During the registry, it'll ask a few questions. It will ask if you want to donate all of your organs, only certain ones, or if you would like to donate only tissue. It also will ask you if sending them to research is an option if you're not eligible for donating your organs to a transplant. And you can always change this at any time, so it's not locked in. It's extremely important that everyone is informed on this subject. I don't feel enough people are talked to understand the process of organ transplant or even know how to become a donor. The generous act saves lives and some people's mother, father, husband, wife, or grandparent. You never know when you need a generous donor to save your life or your sick child's life. It takes people like you to save these lives. Look at it this way. What if it was your child dying and needing an organ to save their life? It takes a courageous person to save a life of a stranger, but it's well worth it. I think it's especially significant everyone at least knows the process of how organ donation works and how to register. Even if you can't find it in yourself to become an organ donor, we also understand religious aspects, but there are other options to make a difference in the organization. You can help raise funds for the organization or just help spread the word and inform those who are unaware of how important it is to register to become an organ donor, kind of like what I'm doing right now. As of February 2017, in Idaho, 64% of residents have signed up to be organ donors on their driver's license or state ID. That beats the national average, which is just 51%, according to the Idaho Transportation Department. This is an amazing statistic that we should continue to be passionate about as Idahoans, even though we have a very high national average. Unfortunately, there's still way too many people on the waiting list. We should make it a goal to have more donated organs than recipients. We can always find a way to improve. Registering to become an organ donor is simple and can be done today in a matter of minutes. So I'm going to pass out a website that shows you where you can go if you decide that you want to be a donor. It's important to know the demand for organ donors because right now there are 115,000 people on the waiting list for a life-saving organ. Just one donor can save up to 8 lives. After we pass away, there is no use in letting those healthy, salvageable organs go to waste. So please be the person to make a difference, save lives, and register to become an organ donor. So on me, you see all the organs. Well, actually, it's not all the organs, but the most common organs that are donated. So this is our lungs. We each have 2 lungs. And we can donate those. And after the death of someone, we can preserve them for 4 to 6 hours. And then this is the heart, which is also preserved for 4 to 6 hours. The liver is 8 to 12 hours. The pancreas is 12 to 18 hours. Kidneys, we got 2 of them. At least we all should have 2 of them, and that's 24 to 36 hours. And then the intestines are about 8 hours. So that just kind of shows how our organs don't last that long. So it's in really high demand that we're all generous enough to donate. And that's all I have. So I hope that influences you guys to become organ donors or at least think about it. So that's it. Thank you.